My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hi guys, quick one before we get into the episode. This episode is sponsored by Zencastr, which is the production suite that I've used from the very beginning of this podcast. And if you're interested in starting your own podcast, hang around at the end of the episode for our 30% discount referral code. Thanks.
So our podcast is called Right and Wrong.
Are these your notes?
These...
Are these your notes about what we're going to say?
Anything is the short answer.
So how many novels did you not finish?
Oh my God, so many.
It was perfect. What's she talking about? This is nonsense.
Ooh, a spicy question. I love it.
This is it, guys. The big secret to getting published is you have to write a good book. You heard it here first. Hello, and welcome back to the Right and Wrong podcast. It's a double guest special today with writer and founder of WriteMentor, Stuart White, and author of the award-winning Undying Tower. Melissa's back. Welcome, guys. First and foremost, congrats, Melissa. Fresh news.
Thank you.
You're now an award-winning author. How's it feel, your first award?
Feels pretty good. You know, obviously I always knew this day would come because I'm so confident in my own abilities, as all writers are. Yep. So yeah, I'm excited it's finally happened. No, it's really nice. I'm so excited. It's really nice as well because it was voted for by readers and people on Twitter, and my people are on Twitter. So it was very nice.
Great stuff. And you get a trophy and everything. Not all these awards get trophies.
I know. I can't believe I get a trophy. I'm so excited. It's in the post already.
Oh, that was efficient.
I know. Very
amazing.
Yeah.
And then the other big news, upcoming soon, WriteMentor's WOWCON. Lots to talk about. So let's jump into it with, well, which one of you has the better elevator pitch?
For
probably
WOWCON.
Melissa. Probably
You're
Melissa.
making me do it.
Here she is, award-winning Melissa.
Here she comes. Yes, so WOWCON is the WriteMentor online writers conference, and it is completely, well, we hope so, accessible to hopefully everyone, most people, and it is basically a conference that you might be able to go to in person with keynotes and panels with amazing authors and talks. And we've got some incredible award-winning authors that aren't just me, and and workshops, and you can book various different levels of tickets through our website, and we're really excited, and we always hold it in September. Which number is this one, Stuart?
This will be the 4th. So yeah, the 4th one. So it's the 23rd to the 25th of September this year, Friday to Sunday. So yeah, we're really excited. The theme this year is Elevate. So we chatted about this as a team before we got down to proper planning, and we thought that it was a good theme in terms of the general mood of everyone over the last year or two. Yeah. We wanted to do something to try and literally elevate that. So it's elevate your hopes, elevate your writing craft, and hopefully elevate your motivation to then go on and finish your books afterwards. So
something that we all need as writers, a little bit at different times. Is it all online? Is it all digital, or is there a physical element to it?
Yeah, it's all online. So back in 2019, when I decided to start this, I thought there's a lot of good in-person conferences out there already. Mm-hmm. But for someone like myself, I'm up in Glasgow and I'm quite far away from most. I also have a few autoimmune conditions which affect my health, and sometimes and young kids and all the rest of that. So sometimes traveling is not so easy for the in-person one. So I just thought we would do one which was online, and it basically meant anyone anywhere in the world with any circumstance could come along, and that was the idea behind it. That's awesome.
And also the beauty of an online event is that it's all recorded. So am I right in thinking that if you have access to the workshops, the panels, the things like that, but you miss them maybe while they're going on or something like that, you can still access the recordings?
That's right, yeah. So we have a 30-day catch-up period after the conference, so plenty of time to go back to your favourite talks, or if you've missed them on the actual weekend. As long as you've got a ticket, then you can get access to all of these things. It starts at £12, so it is quite affordable. I just actually booked for a physical conference later this year, and it was a few £100. So having the opportunity to do that for just £12 is a good starting point for most people.
Oh yeah, that's great. And then there is also a range which goes up for more
of course, yeah. So I mean, we've got 24 hours of content, from the keynotes to the talks to the panels and the workshops. In fact, sorry, that's wrong. It's not. It's 30 hours because the workshops are 2 hours long. So, and people can pick and choose what they want and sort of tailor it around what it is they want to get out of it. So, yeah, there's lots on, and people can come and they can either go piecemeal or they can actually get everything for $149, 30 hours worth of writing, talks and workshops and so on, which I think is really good value.
Yeah, I mean that's almost a working week of content. In terms of workshops and panels, what sort of things are being discussed? What sort of people are teaching different things and talking about stuff?
Yeah, so our workshops, we tried, Melissa can chat a little bit about this as well, but we tried to cover all the bases, the main bases. And, we've got a picture book one, we've got an editing one in voice, world building, plotting and character as well. So that, wherever you're struggling in terms of your writing craft, there's hopefully something there for you to help elevate that element.
And you're also doing, and I don't know if this is, Melissa warned me that these are selling out fast, the one-to-ones with agents.
I think it's 137 one-to-ones we have on offer. I think we're about 100 or so sold now, so there are still some left. But yeah, generally people get in there. They get quite territorial about them actually, and we do occasionally get a grumpy email, don't we, Melissa, to say, "Oh my God, can you? There's no one-to-ones left. Can you please go to the agent and ask them to do another 4 or 5 so I can get one?"
Yeah, and that happens actually quite a lot. Yeah.
And Melissa has to put on our most polite reply and say, well, they're already doing 10, so we're not sure if we can ask them to do much
My most polite reply, that's just me all the time.
Yeah,
I'm always very, very polite. But I understand why, because we've actually got some editors as well this year.
Yes.
Because we had to think about it, and we were thinking, not as many agents are taking on. It's been all over sort of Twitter and stuff that not as many are taking on new clients at the minute, or perhaps especially because it's summer, like they weren't too sure. So we actually looked at getting some editors, which is nice because if you're already agented, you can have a one-to-one with an editor. So we've got loads. We've got Kes Lupo, who obviously you've had on here from Chicken House, and we've got someone from Macmillan's Children's, I seem to remember, and oh gosh, all sorts. Like, it's crazy. So I'm not surprised they're selling out quick, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is invaluable. I remember many years ago, one of the first sort of big interactions I would say that I had when I was getting into this whole sort of writing community industry was a one-to-one with an agent, and it was revolutionary, I would say. And they just have so much insight and knowledge to share. And if you're in that one-to-one environment, literally with your manuscript there, it is so valuable.
Yeah, they're super valuable. I've had 2 in the past as well, and you get more than just like an appraisal of your manuscript as well. You get sort of the industry insight into what they'll tell you what's selling well and what isn't, and if your manuscript fits in with that and so on, and that really is valuable knowledge.
Yeah. Sort of like having a psychiatrist in many ways, like a professional book professional psychiatrist. Melissa, you're chairing some of the panels, is that right?
I am, unfortunately, for the people I chaired before. My goodness, poor them. Yes, I'm chairing some panels. So what's really nice is because it's flexible and we can put on a lot, it means that we can pre-record some stuff. So I can already say that my 2 panels were really, really fun. Well, I had fun anyway. So I've got one. I've got one about writing friendships, and that has Cynthia Murphy and Noami Gibson, who we know very well, and George Bowers. So that's a really fun one because we're all in the same debut group, but we also knew each other a little bit before, so people can buy a ticket if they're interested to find out how our little meet cutes happened. And yeah, we've got one about the hub as well, which is exciting because it was really nice to get on 3 people from our hub, which has, sort of 200 odd members now. And we managed to find someone who's at the beginning, I'll say the beginning of a writing journey. We've got Katina on there who's, a little bit, she's not quite got into her publishing groove yet. And she's just finished one of her books. Actually, she's just finished her middle grade, like for her first draft. So she's really excited. And then we've got Rachel Davis, who just is, I don't understand how she's got time. I think there's 50 of her because she has like 1 million books out this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, it is, isn't it? I think I mentioned that on the recording. And we've also got Sarah Daniels, who's just had her debut dystopian YA come out with Penguin. So that's quite exciting. So yeah, we've got some really good little groups of people, I think. And we had some really interesting conversations about how, essentially both the panels, we had conversations about how connections in writing can really help at every stage of your career, which was really nice. And I think it could be quite interesting for everyone to listen to, no matter where you are with your writing.
Oh, okay. That sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And have you, do you feel like you're a pro at chairing panels now?
I think I thought I would be okay before, and now I'm like less confident about chairing panels. But no, it was fun. Everyone was very nice, which was great. And I had my questions written down. I'd learned some lessons from doing podcasts like this, so it wasn't too bad. But yes, I did completely overrun with the little help from my friends panel because we were having such a good time. So that gives you a hint. Yeah, we were just chatting away, and I suddenly realized we were way over time, so that was good. So people will be able to hear that if they buy a ticket to that one.
Did they get all the extra time as well? Is that included?
It was poor Stuart that had to edit it down. So.
Yeah, I, to be honest, I haven't taken much out. So
perfect.
Yeah,
because it was perfect first time.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, perfectly chaired.
Perfect.
Amazing. So WOWCON sounds very exciting. And also, in the midst of all this, some other very exciting news. The Stuart's 1000 out of 100 project. For anyone listening who hasn't heard about this, Stuart has challenged himself to self-publish a book, sell 1,000 copies, get 100 reviews in a single year, which I think's awesome.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
Actually, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, so I'm not prepared. But
got him.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was just chatting about WOWCON, but yes. So I've been thinking about doing this for a while, to be honest, and I've been reluctant for a number of reasons. There's I wanted to give the most recent book I wrote a go with agents, and before I finally went down this road, because the book I'm going to self-publish is one that I wrote. I started writing in 2019 and finished in 2021. Okay. So yeah, it's probably my favourite book that I've written. So it's got a type 1 diabetic main character like me, and I'm really pro trying to get a book out there that's got someone who's like me as the main character. I know that I'm a school teacher, so I know that I've taught a few kids over the years who really struggle in school with the condition. It's a really difficult one to manage, especially when you're a kid and you're a teenager with hormones going everywhere, and so on. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to publish this one, and yeah, it didn't work out with agents, but I've been working hard on it, and yeah, I'm hoping when I bring it out in January, we'll be able to. I mean, I talked a little bit. I'm doing a podcast that goes along with the project just to sort of chart the progress. Yeah, and yeah, I'm hoping to get to 1,000 with 100 reviews. To be honest, in some ways the figures are a bit arbitrary because you never know how it's going to go, and I'm very prepared to fail with it for the sake of a learning experience and having a go at something. Because I do think that sometimes we can hold out for things for too long, to go perfectly and exactly how we want them to. And then other times I think you just need to sort of chase after what it is you want and, come what may.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I know a lot of people that have done similar things, not quite to the same scale, where a lot of authors have said to themselves, right, I'm going to enter that competition because it will force me to do something, hit a deadline, reach a certain amount. So I think this is just sort of, in many ways, this is like that, but on a more sort of grand scale.
Yeah, definitely, and it really has focused me. I've worked probably harder on this particular thing than I've done with anything else in my writing over the last few years, because, well, as you guys probably guessed, that the WriteMentor stuff takes up loads of my time.
Yeah.
When I'm not with also my family or at work or whatever. So to do something that's just about my writing and to put a lot of time and effort into it, it's been nice and quite rewarding so far, even regardless of outcomes, just because I've enjoyed the process so much.
Listen up, I won't sugarcoat it. This is the longest cold, flu, and allergy season we've ever seen, but we're not alone. We've got Instacart. Sure, you may be a coughing snot faucet who just wants mommy, but you're not giving up! Not when cold medicine, fragrant herbal teas, and honey shaped like bears can be delivered through Instacart in as fast as 30 minutes! Now let's go win the sick playoffs!
Daddy, I just want my soup.
Oh, sorry, Sport. App says it'll be here in a few minutes. Instacart for the win.
Well, that's great. And I look forward to monitoring your process through the podcast and your updates. That's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, I mean, no, unfortunately, you're probably going to hear about it a lot because I like posting, as you know, lots on Twitter. So it's going to be hard to avoid following my progress, I think.
That's great. That's great. Less effort for me. Don't even have to hunt it down.
Unless it does well, of course, and then Stuart won't talk about it at all because he never tells us. He never likes to show off when he's doing well. So if it starts going well and if it goes quiet, he's actually selling pretty well and it's successful. And he won't know what to do with himself because he's like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, kind of self-flagellation, I think.
No news is good news. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's enough trick questions from me. We'll go back to WriteMentor now. So WriteMentor, you've been growing fairly substantially each year. How many people are in the team now? It's not just you two.
No, there's also Emily and Florian. So Florian's been with me for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa joined me a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And Emily joined at the start of this year. So Emily does events. Melissa does the hub and our mentoring side, as well as being like the first port of call for anyone coming
face.
to WriteMentor. Yay!
That's me.
We need someone. Yeah, we need someone that's a bit. I don't know the right word for it. Is
diplomatic.
A bit more. Yeah,
spoken.
Yes, exactly.
Good at communication.
I'm more of a straight to the point person, whereas Melissa is a bit nicer about things. So.
Okay.
And of course, Florian, she's been with us a while. She does all the social media and the website and all that kind of stuff. So,
and you're all writers, which is great.
Yes, which is terrifying sometimes when we're having conversations about things. But yeah, all at different stages as well. Like Florian's just signed with an agent, and Emily won the Times Chicken House Award, which of course means that she has a book coming out at some point in the future, which of course that is kind of uncertain at the minute, because obviously what happens is they announce things, don't they, in publishing, and then suddenly it's like, okay, now you can't talk about this for a bit. Actually it's going to be a bit of a secret for a bit, and then suddenly it's not a secret again and you have to talk about it all the time. So I'm not actually 100% certain when it's out, but sometime next year I believe. And obviously Stuart's doing his self-publishing project, and I have the Undying Tower. So yeah, it's all kicking off, to be honest.
Very cool. I just think it's very cool that you guys are sort of at the heart of the organization, are all yourselves writers on different journeys through the kind of same area. That's great. So you can really connect with everyone you're working with.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that honestly, I think that's the heart of of everything we do. And when we're making decisions about things, we are thinking about it from a writer's perspective. And I think that's why people are attracted to to follow us and to come and join in the things we do, because we are looking at it through the same lens as all the writers who are part of the community.
Yeah. And you've been there. You've kind of been in those shoes, no matter what stage people are at.
Yeah, that really helps with emails and stuff as well. So sometimes we just did some feedback for I think we did. Yeah, everyone gets feedback if they. So you can pay for a level on our Novel and Development Award where you get feedback, and a few people did write back and say they were a little bit confused about their feedback, or they weren't quite sure. I seem to get really positive feedback and I wasn't sure about why exactly maybe I was a no for the long list. And it's it's so much easier because we don't want to enter in obviously individual conversations for each person, because that gets quite complicated. Then people will say, oh, this person got, an extra little email. So instead it's easier to be able to say, look, I'm an author, I totally understand. Like, I've had loads of rejections where pretty much everyone's had that one from an agent or possibly an editor where it's like, I actually really love this, but I don't love it enough.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating. But you kind of understand when you get a bit further down the line. So I think it was such a high standard this year for the contest that we did have quite a few where pretty much it was really good. It was just not quite good enough to get onto the already quite long list. So yeah, it's a bit easier when you know what people are going through and you feel like you can at least relate to them a little bit and tell them a bit about you.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Did how many entrants were there this year for the competition?
I don't know actually.
I think it was 485, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of feedback.
400, almost 500.
Yeah, just under 500. Which was good. That, it was up. I was in the high 300s last year. So it's good. It's good when you see things growing like that, because it means that you're at least on the right track with it. Because people, more people want to do it the next time, and obviously word of mouth, people are passing on that it's worthwhile entering for it.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys are connected with a lot of agents, not just through your sort of events and things, through people who have gone through the program and picked up agents and been published and things like that. So I think in terms of recognition, the WriteMentor Award is seen as a very good thing, I think, by the industry.
Yeah, I hope
so. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
You're both so modest. Come on.
I know. Well, it's funny though, because you see other events and organisations and so on out there that they scream from the rooftops about their industry links and how they'll open the door for you and so on. And we obviously have a lot too, and in fact, potentially even more than most of them. But we're not salespeople. We're not here to try and convince people to do something because of and the thing is, it's if you promise something along the lines of getting your work in front of an agent or editor, we have no control over any of that. So it's kind of a false promise if we do that. So we do like to sort of play things down. Someone actually emailed me last year to say that I am the king. Was it the king of is it under promising and over delivering?
That's a good one. Put that on your self-published book. There's a quote.
Because he said that's what we're and we're all like that. I think I don't we're quite a grounded bunch. We the backgrounds that we all come from and so on. There's nobody that's gets too ahead of their station, even when things are going well. And we're just coming up actually on we're just under 100 writers who have been agented or published. Going through our programs or our competitions or whatever. So so it's quite a big landmark coming up, and we probably will say something about that. In fact, I know that probably Florian's listening to this and saying,
I know, I was just thinking this. If Florian listens, she's going to kill us. Yeah.
So Florian's like, she is the one that always pushes us to say more things and to
which she should. She's right.
Yeah.
That's per usual.
So hopefully she'll do something when we get to that landmark.
Okay. Yeah, because I think sometimes we can end up. We talk a lot about community, which I think is just what ends up being more important. So then it seems like we're downplaying other things. But instead of making promises about publication, we're trying to make more promises about find your writing community and enjoy the writing you're doing that day. So we have lots of things like in the hub about celebration threads for the week and talking to people about, even when you get a rejection, come and talk to us about it, say from an agent or something. And people are always saying how much better they feel, even when it's awful getting a rejection. They feel so much better, like talking to everyone else about it. So I think sometimes, we edge into not talking about our success stories as much because we're saying, it's great to be successful. But when I do the celebration thread, for instance, I always want to say to people, like, I want to hear if you've written 100 words this week. I want to hear if you've just won the Costa Prize, which sadly is gone now. I want to hear both though. Like I want to hear about everything because that's the sort of community that we're running. So I think sometimes, we forget about the success bits because we're just having too much fun. This is the problem with all my panels. I'm just like, I'm having such a good time. Oh yeah, this is work. And I have to do some work now.
That's great though. And I think that's all part of the sort of grassroots, genuine atmosphere that there is around the WriteMentor community. Because it's very much by writers for writers. It's writers coming together.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
more than anything else. And we were talking about the growth and how you've had more entrants, the team's growing. How many mentors have you got this year?
For the summer program?
Yeah.
I think there's 60.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah. This is the 5th class of mentees. So, we're coming up to nearly 300 mentees now that we've helped out over the last 5 summers. And, it really is a lovely thing to do. Like, everyone who's involved in it, it's such a sort of joyous atmosphere. People are just they're very grateful for everything because, and this is, if you create an environment of altruism, I think that you create a good environment where people appreciate what they're given, but then are also very happy to then also give back.
Yeah.
And then I've got to shout out to Melissa actually here. She's one of the few that have done all 5 summers now of mentoring. We call her the veteran.
Better than the battle axe, which was my first choice.
How many people have done all 5 then?
There must be only maybe 5 or 6 of you, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
There can't be too many.
Maybe not even that many.
Yeah, it's so nice to do them all though, because I just had literally just today I heard Sue Cunningham, who won one of our novel awards, actually. I mentored her in 2020, I believe it was. And she just popped on that she has signed a book deal with Scholastic today.
Amazing.
So obviously I'm taking my 10% cut immediately and taking all the credit. No, Sue's an amazing writer. What's great is I on purpose pick people who are so good at writing. I barely have to do anything. It's great. And then I get all the credit later. Yeah. I've got Daisy this year. She's amazing. I've got another Sue. I've had a couple of Sues actually, and another one that's publishing with a small press in Canada. So yeah, I've had some really nice success actually, and it's really nice when people follow up with you a couple of years later because it takes so long to do anything. Yeah.
So outside of mentoring programs, outside of WOWCON, you guys have a newsletter, a magazine, the podcast, which has a bunch of different shows on it, which is great. What else is sort of exciting and new that you guys are coming out with soon? Or is I assume at the moment it's all hands on deck for WOWCON, but what else is on the horizon?
Yeah, definitely we're very focused on WOWCON just now. But and this is something that happens behind the scenes a lot. So I'm very idealistic, and I come up with probably a new idea every week.
Nice.
And what happens generally is Melissa says, "Oh, that sounds cool," and Florian goes, "No, Stuart, calm down. No, not another new thing." That's about right, isn't it, Melissa?
Yeah, no, that is actually very true. Yeah, there at the minute. I think currently there's 2 or 3 things we're looking at, which are really exciting. But we're still like testing the waters with Florian. No, we're making Florian sound like a dragon. She's actually the person who keeps us on the straight and narrow. She's really good.
She sounds like a much needed person in the office.
she is, yeah.
Yeah, she's basically in charge.
Yeah, I mean, I'll often say this to her, but like, there's no way I would have made it through. A couple of years ago when she first came on without her help. She made such a difference to, just not just supporting me, but helping us grow as well, because she's got a lot more nous about, how to reach more people and to sort of present what we're doing in a more favourable light, I think. So yeah, she's definitely made a big impact there. But yeah, we do come up with lots of ideas, and yeah, there's a couple of things that are in the works. I think we're having a wee team meeting on Friday to discuss some of them. So yeah, we'll let people know about those once they're further down the line.
Once we've got them past Florian.
Yes.
Once she's signed off on them.
Okay, once the boss approves.
Well, I mean, at the moment it's all about WOWCON, so which sounds brilliant. 23rd to the 25th of September. Can't wait for it all to kick off. And if anyone listening wants to get in on the action, then head over to write-mentor.com, where you'll be able to find all the details and you can see all the different ticket options and choose the one that is right for you. And that's all I've got. You've both already answered the desert island question. So if anyone's curious as to which books or catalogs in Melissa's case are going to the desert island, you can flick back and find the Stuart and Melissa's other episodes on the podcast. But thanks so much for coming back on, guys. It's always fun chatting with the both of you and hearing about your latest adventures and what's going on with WriteMentor.
And yeah, thanks for bringing us on, Jamie. Just before we go, because this is something I notice when I host podcasts as well, is you don't really get to talk too much about yourself. So, Melissa,
turning the tables.
I'm turning the tables, yeah. So, how is your writing going at the moment, Jamie? What have you been up to?
Oh, what? I tripped you up earlier. You weren't supposed to trip me up as well. Wait, what? My writing's going well. I had a bit of a slump at one point, as I'm sure lots of people listening will be familiar with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably over halfway of writing my current bit, which is a YA fantasy with a bit of romance adventure. Melissa's read a little bit of it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, with ne'er-do-wells in, I hear.
Yes. I was very happy that I got the word ne'er-do-well into my manuscript earlier today. So
very impressive.
Yeah, big achievement all round. But it's going well. Yeah, you're right. I don't talk about it much, and as you can tell, I'm very flustered now that you've.
Typical writer, yeah.
It's like the worst nightmare for a writer's been asked to talk about their own book.
Yeah. Unprompted. And now I don't know. Now I'm lost, so I'm going to wrap up the episode.
No worries.
If anyone wants to keep up with both of these two superstars, they've both been on the podcast before, as I said. You can check out those previous episodes, or you can follow them on socials. You can follow Stuart at Stuart White WM. You can follow Melissa at Welliver. Make sure you keep up with Stuart's 1000 out of 100 project. Sounds like it's going to be great. It's going to be an experience no matter what happens. To make sure you don't miss an episode of this podcast, follow on Twitter at Right and Wrong UK or on Instagram at Right and Wrong Podcast. Thanks again, both of you, for coming on, and thanks to everyone listening. We'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for hanging around until the end. If you're interested in starting your own podcast but aren't really sure what that looks like, I can't recommend Zencastr enough. It's so simple to host, record, and download your podcast with, and it even has a built-in transcription AI. It functions entirely in the internet browser, which means all your guests have to do is click on a link and they'll be brought into the conversation. If you click on the link in the description, you'll get 30% off the first 3 months. All you have to do is click on the link in the description. Thanks again for supporting the show, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Introducing new dirty drinks from Sonic. Whatever your fave is, you can now make it dirty. Fanta fans can make it dirty. Dr. Pepper devotees can make it dirty. Even ocean water aficionados can make it dirty. You name it, we can make it dirty. Now you may be asking yourself, how do you make a Sonic drink dirty? By infusing it with a delicious blend of coconut flavor, sweet cream, and lime, of course. What were you thinking? Get your brain out of the gutter. New dirty drinks, now at Sonic. Fanta and Dr. Pepper are used under license. Limited time only. Participating Sonic drive-ins.